Hi, I'm Tara Antonellis. Welcome to Seeking Beyond. I'm a Hellenistic astrologer, and this will be your forecast on the Mercury retrograde, beginning April 1st through the 24th, and then stationing direct on the 25th. So, this Mercury retrograde has some extra importance going on because there is a repeated activation of these eclipse energies taking place. In Aries, the decisions can be quick and there may be even a force of urgency behind them and a revisitation of past thought patterns and an expression with how we identify ourselves. There can be an impulsivity and uncontrollable nature to these energies when you're involving the North Node that is essentially pushing us forward out of necessity. In order for us to progress, there is a reevaluation and an integration that needs to take place that is involving the plans and ideals that we have. And as it surfaces, these are also involving the conjunction that's taking place with Chiron and the North Node, which is also being activated by the Mercury retrograde. So, Chiron and Aries. Chiron being the wounded healer, and Aries being ruled by the god of war, has a direct boldness, energetic intensity behind it. So, wounds around our identity and our will may be coming up and doing what's ultimately in our best interest for ourselves personally. Any rejection around our authenticity or our unique nature, those experiences may be feeling heavy at this time, or actually for the entire month of April. What is Mercury retrograde? Well, Mercury involving the mind, the intellect, communication, travel, technology, ways that we express ourselves, and retrograde. Retrograde is what seems to be the planet going upwards. It's an optical illusion. And it's all the planets have different speeds and distances that they're traveling around the orbit of the sun. And when those speeds and distances match each other, it may seem like one is moving backwards, just like when you're in a car and you're traveling next to another car and you begin to speed up, or the other begins to speed up. It almost looks like you're going backwards. It's an optical illusion. So, in ancient times, this was a period of symbology that is taking place of a time of reassessing, reevaluating, realigning. I like to call it the re time. And basically, it's a moment of pause and delay. Things like to come up that were not a part of the plan, and it can be frustrating. This time is pretty popularly dreaded now, but ultimately it's for our best benefit and it's keeping us on track with our plan of destiny and our blueprint and what we're here for with our mission, our soul's mission. So, Mercury in Aries. The communication will be assertive, intense, passionate, and not really holding back anything. There's a tendency of being focused on oneself and its individualistic nature. There can also be a time of allowing that happens when one is already passive. So, say someone is typically passive in nature, this time will have them standing in their power. However, if one's already pretty direct already and they don't have an issue asserting themselves, they could find themselves on the receiving end of this energy or perhaps even the source of conflict. So, there will be a lot of people thinking that their perspective is the best perspective, and that can cause tension to elevate. With North Node involved, this can create an intense tenacity to just keep pushing forward. It's what's speaking to us at this time, what's very personal and individualistic, like on a level that is very intimate. And with the Mercury retrograde in the mix, this can have us not particularly working well with others because we're not really fixated on their perceptions or their feelings, and we're just trailblazing ahead. We can be a bit rough around the edges at this time with our approach and how we deliver things. We can come off blunt and aggressive. So, isn't the best time for forging new connections with others. So, for the sake of all, um, try to pause. This is a time of self dedication and personal momentum and healing. That's involved is that Mercury will be traveling back and forth over Chiron. So it's going to be triggered at this time with those wounds that have happened. So it's not only activating these karmatic faded energies and giving us messages and ideas that it's projecting us towards for the sake of growth, but it's also confronting those traumas and those insecurities or the wounds around what we're really needing to focus on, what we need to say, what we need to do, what we may be procrastinating from to amend and heal through in order for us to advance in our lives ultimately. These self improvements can also benefit the collective because by being an example for showing up for ourselves, it's showing others how to empower themselves. There is a sensitivity behind this, though, because as Mercury triggers these wounds due to its conjunction with Chiron, it can be really uncomfortable and it can have like a dauntingness behind it. Nobody wants to feel these things. And we may have to face these wounds and deal with it head on. And it's not a pleasant feeling. It can have us in flashbacks or ruminating when things were really hard or pains that were taking place and playing out. People with PTSD may have a hard time during these times. Mercury dealing with the mind state and with Chiron being involved as it's connecting with it, it can cause a bit of a depressing feeling. Mercury's pre-shadow, which started on the 18th, 19th, this is a time period that is showing us where the theme around these energies are taking place because whatever was occurring at that time will show us what we will be revisiting through as Mercury um, goes through its retrograde period. All right, so I am going to pull a card from my tarot deck to see what kind of energy we will be looking at and you know the tarot is always a good source of support. All right, so I have here the Five of Wands. All right, the Five of Wands. See, can you focus? Here we go. All right, the Five of Wands is a contraction card. It can be argumentative, it can be rivalristic, ambitious, competitive. So if you look at that central staff in the middle, it stands resolute, and it's capped with that golden circle, that orb. It's an emblem of clarity and inner strength. It represents the possibility of enlightenment and personal growth that can emerge from conflicts and opposition that takes place. The Five of Wands invites us to view challenges as an opportunity for harnessing that energy of competition and finding one's center of strength, even when we're surrounded by turmoil. And it really does link up with the energies that are happening with that competitive assertive, just argumentative nature of Aries and that inner strength that we are needing to find with Chiron and Mercury taking place with that pause of really honing in on an intellectual level instead of just acting out in brashness. I hope this served you, and I hope you take it easy and be gentle on yourselves. I'll see you later. Bye.